According to reporting by Bloomberg, there are now 1,000 startups with the coveted unicorn title. A unicorn, in short, is a startup with at least $1 billion valuation. But why was a special name necessary for startups? And what were the earliest companies to retain this title? And what does it mean that so many companies are now considered unicorns? All of this and more is explored in this Generation Discovery video. In 2013, Aileen Lee, founder of Cowboy Ventures, wrote a piece published by TechCrunch in which she described the concept of the Unicorn Club, an exceptional group of startups valued at $1 billion, or only 0.07% of the estimated 60,000 companies funded over the past decade in 2013. As described by Lee, building and investing in a billion-dollar company was difficult and unlikely. On average, the velocity of unicorn creation was exceptionally low compared to now. Then, only 4 unicorns were created on average annually. In 2022, startups are achieving unicorn status at a rate of more than 1 a day. On the day that Product Board Incorporated was valued at $1.7 billion, reaching unicorn status, and the 1,000th company to do so, that same week, 6 other companies became unicorns, and 42 other startups became unicorns in January alone. In selecting the term unicorn, Lee attempted to confer something that is extremely rare and magical. A cohort of 39 companies, the original number of startups considered unicorns when Lee wrote the article, in an elite group, the lucky and genius few. But since the emergence of unicorns has become increasingly common, the Unicorn Club doesn't appear as lucky, elite, magical, or rare as the formerly distinguished 39 original unicorns were. When Lee described the framework of the Unicorn Club, not only was there far less companies within the club, but the type of tech unicorns was compressed compared to the dynamism and peculiar inclusions we see today. Of the 39 unicorns, the companies were classified into 4 business models: e-commerce, audience, SaaS, and enterprise. Surprising for us today, but not in 2013, only 4 of the original 39 unicorns were mobile first, a far stretch from the mobile native approach of many companies today, with desktop compatibility being more of an afterthought. And these 39 original unicorns include some notable companies, and 1 big tech company: Zynga, Palantir, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, Hulu, Uber, and Facebook, to name a notable few. Many of these companies can be classified as consumer internet services. Compared to today's unicorns, there aren't just more unicorns, but the industries they're disrupting are more dispersed. And with that, so has the perceived value of these unicorns expanded. Although the United States has the most unicorns, they are now more global and not just concentrated in the US. These contemporary unicorns hail from various industries operating dynamic business models. Of the 1,000 startups today, financial technology, or fintech, has the most companies of any category. Other categories include internet software and services, logistics, data analytics, artificial intelligence, education, hardware, consumer, auto, e-commerce and direct-to-consumer, and travel, among others. If anything, what we've seen since Lee introduced the concept of unicorns is the widespread adoption of technology, or the susceptibility of all industries to technology. The valuation of these unicorns exceed even the market cap of some of the world's largest companies. But it's not just the valuation. The revenue of these companies is also more reflective of what we would expect from large, traditional, mature companies, and even then, these would be exceptional ones. The 5 most valuable startups as of 2022 include 3 US-based companies, 1 Chinese, and 1 Swedish company. At number 1 is ByteDance, a Chinese company worth $140 billion, although much higher in the secondary market, which is primarily known for its international short-form social media app, TikTok. Second is SpaceX, The $100 billion valued aerospace company founded by the world's wealthiest and iconoclastic entrepreneur, Elon Musk. Followed by that is Stripe, valued at $95 billion. The company's mission is to increase the GDP of the internet. Rounding out the 5 largest is another fintech company called Klarna, which is valued at $45 billion. And Epic Games, renowned as a pioneer of the Battle Royale gaming category through Fortnite, and is valued at $42 billion. There are now 53 startups valued at $10 billion or more. The valuation of these companies eventually led to questions about the practical value of calling these companies unicorns. That inquiry led to a new phrase being used to explain the phenomenon of so many startups valued at 10 plus billion, and that is decacorns. ByteDance, the most valuable startup, had $58 billion in revenue in 2021, placing it above IBM and just below Goldman Sachs. Collectively, the top 5 value startups earned an estimated $73 billion in revenue. With so much capital in the venture industry, ever-expanding rounds of funding, and the scale startups can now achieve without tapping public markets for capital or liquidity events for shareholders, has led to these companies remaining private longer, and maybe indefinitely. What happens when a startup reaches a state in which it can provide a liquidity event for its investors through its own cash flow, perhaps agreeing to a multiple for cashing out its investors, or even when it's able to facilitate a vibrant internal stock market for stock options extended to employees? If we return to Lee's description of unicorns as a rare, lucky breed of companies that were valued at $1 billion, then we are far from that concept, at least regarding its uniqueness. Startups are becoming newly minted unicorns on a daily basis. A new class of unicorns, called decacorns, are emerging to assume the rarity that was previously the unicorn class. I have no answers for what it means for startups to reach 100 billion plus valuations, with revenues approaching those of century-old companies, and doing so within a decade of its founding, or what it means that so many startups are becoming unicorns so quickly. What is evident, though, is the influence of technology and its seemingly preordained path to infiltrate every industry, with a litany of unicorns and decacorns leading the way. Thanks for watching. Until next time.